Oh shoot, where's the intro thing?
I-
Greetings, sentient beings. This broadcast is not intended for children. There will be strong language and adult themes. Well, let's all chill out on the topic today.
Yep, modern refrigeration.
Why is it called refrigeration and not refrigeration? Is it like you're doing it over again, or?
I have no clue. I think it was just something. Some things were cold, and you make it refrigerated. Whatever it is, billions of people are alive today because we invented a way to keep stuff cold.
Great.
Well, there are like over 500 species of mold and fungus that are known to cause hallucinogenic effects. And I think that this accounts for a lot of the religious experiences before we had refrigerators.
Possibly.
That actually makes sense. They had hallucination episodes in Salem because of their and they believe some of the behavior of burning women at the stake happened because of the God damn it, the fungus, the rye fungus, ergot, ERGOT.
I didn't know that bit about Salem.
Well, some places actually would build ice cellars and fill it with ice from winter snow. That's in ancient times.
Well, not just ancient times. I mean, that was done right up into the early 20th century. In fact, where I used to live in Michigan, one of the lakes was called Ice Lake, just because that was where they went to cut the ice blocks out, that they would stock up in the root cellars to keep things cold.
Okay, well, we've covered refrigeration. What next?
Well, no. I just want to say this one I had to do because this was so weird. I was going to do Refrigerator Day as a sarcastic topic, just because there was an episode of the Disney's Dinosaurs that had Refrigerator Day as a holiday. But then I found out someone had beat me to it and actually registered it as a holiday.
Actually, I found the whole website on it.
Yeah. So it's like I was going to do this as a stupid sarcastic thing, and then I found out it was real. That this is the state of reality now. It's like I try to make shit up, and somebody has already taken it seriously.
Yeah, see? National Refrigerator Day. Whole website on it.
Yep.
And it's really cold.
Actually, refrigeration goes back a lot further than people realize. That
as a mechanical device.
Well, not just as a mechanical device, but using clay pots. The Romans actually, had a sort of refrigeration. Yeah, I'm losing the words now.
Well, like I was saying about collecting ice and all that, it goes back to 1000 BC.
Yep.
In China did it.
1000 BC. Wow.
And
no wonder there's so many bitches around today.
And as for machines, that goes back to 1755 with William Cullen.
And I want to know who did the study on the temperature of a witch's tit, or a well digger's butt. Isn't that refrigeration?
Or probably their
Well-
spouses.
I don't know if I still qualify because I'm only a former pagan. I'm not currently pagan. But, I could take the temperature of my nipples.
You're not a witch. I'm sorry.
No, I was never officially a witch. Just because witch specifically refers to people who practice Wicca. And I never actually got into one of those. Although there were bits of Wicca I liked. And every time I stayed in a hotel, I had wanted to replace the Bible with a copy of Wicca Guide for the Solitary Practitioner.
Copy of what?
Wicca, a Guide for the Solitary Practitioner.
I see.
If you're going to have a religious book there, you should have one, that people can just get it.
Well, I made a mistake. I'm sitting here.
I wonder about a spoof religion. Like if the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster would like to provide stuff that whenever you go to a hotel room, you just put it in there.
Now
Like
that
the
would
Gideon
actually be
Society,
fun.
but only for
Yeah, to make
only
a
for
little booklet.
prostitutarians.
Yeah, to make a little booklet explaining what prostitutarians are.
Pastafarians, excuse me.
Yep,
Pastafarian. Darn it.
pastafarian. Sorry, but yeah,
May his noodly appendage. May you be
Really?
touched by his noodly appendage.
Maybe that's my
That-
noodle.
that actually sounds like a good
Blah.
idea. We should put together a booklet that everybody can download and print out copies to leave whenever they stay at a hotel.
I would like.
Purple, you were talking about witches. My wife actually technically is a witch. She is of Hungarian descent, and her family were basically gypsies, not like your American gypsies, not that
Yep.
crap. The actual old country gypsies. So they were like traveling healers, and they identified for whatever reasons for at least 7 generations that she knows of as witches. But when they use that word, it's a different. They're not talking about Christian ideas of witches are. That's now they more associate with Wicca. But my wife is a witch, like most people, like most Catholics are Catholic. Like you could work with her for 5 years and never know anything until one day, something comes up about Lent or whatever, and she might say something, that kind of thing.
Well,
Except-
according to the Archdiocese of Chicago,
Hmm.
I'm still Catholic because it's a pain in the ass to get your name off the register.
Right.
I think that's the same for me. Oh, interesting enough, the name mage here actually came partly from me dabbling in Wicca.
Yeah. Although actually the term gypsy actually was the Romanian word for wanderer.
Mm.
Basically because these were originally it was the Jewish exiles who practiced the Kabbalah. So they had no homeland, they just wandered around and they practiced things, like fortune telling.
Oh, like Republicans.
You know that most rabbis tell people to stay clear of Kabbalah because it will drive you absolutely batshit crazy, and they tell you not to do it.
Yeah, I know that
Yeah,
most of the Jewish people don't really endorse it.
Well, the thing is it's it involves so much that a lot of it's kind of contradictory to itself. So I can understand. why
According
it'd be
to
confusing.
Rabbi Joseph Berger, either current caretaker of David's tomb or former caretaker, the numerology of Trump's name means Messiah. That's how
bullshit.
fucked in the head.
Bullshit.
That's how
Yeah.
fucked in the head that it can get you.
Yeah, well, they're
Yeah.
just finding any way
there.
that they can connect Trump with that. And
I'm going with Lord Dampnut. It's the anagram for Donald Trump.
I'm pretty sure if I learned numerology, I could twist his name into shit gibbon.
I'm sure we could make any Mother Goose poem say that I am God, like me. David Page is God, if we wanted to, through algorithms and so forth. So yeah, you can make up anything you want to.
you
don't
don't
need- all
even
you
need
need
to
is
go
the
that
excuse.
far. Just read Stranger in a Strange Land, Thou Art God.
Oh no.
Because basically, by Martian philosophy, everyone was a god.
We have some religious philosophies that are kind of that way too.
Could we try to not talk about religion again?
Okay.
I'm really sick to death of talking about religion on this channel.
Yeah.
Refrigerators in science. We got to spaghetti monsters to talking about actual religions, even though I think, I want to be a pirate and have a pirate wedding with the Lord Spaghetti Monster presiding over.
The spaghetti monster is just as real as all the other religions.
May the force be with you.
I have to check, but I think Sloth Girl might want to be buried with a colander on her head because she worshipped pasta before she even knew about the spaghetti monster.
Better get it in writing.
That would be fun.
Well, she's half Italian, so that was just all of her comfort foods.
Yes. That's what my daughter's comfort food is pasta. For sure. Like she could eat spaghetti every night and be totally fine with it.
Yeah.
And
well,
I don't do it anymore.
It's also so many of her memories of her grandmother, were helping her cook in the kitchen. So that's all from her Italian grandmother.
So get this. My grandfather was from Poland and my grandmother was from Italy, and they were both Jewish. But guess who's cooking and whose stuff I liked better? The Italian stuff. Nothing is better than spaghetti.
Well, my great-grandfather on my father's side came from Poland. And I have to admit that Polish food is filling, but not real flavorful.
One thing I found though about spaghetti though it's kind of like saying barbecue. If you say barbecue to a European, it can mean anything.
Yep.
Really, it could be a literal vinegar-based thing from North Carolina, or a barbecue from Texas, or a more spicy barbecue sauce from Colorado or Arizona or something. It could be anything in between. And with spaghetti, I found out like my sister from France has a very, very different idea than what my father did, who learned from a French chef in France, from another fellow that I was very close to, whose family was Sicilian, and his idea of what spaghetti was compared to normal Italian spaghetti was very, very different.
Well, how many possible variations could there be on a long, thin noodle?
Well, I mean, like your red sauce and stuff like that.
That's not spaghetti. Spaghetti is the noodle, not the dish.
Right. You're right. You're absolutely correct. You're technically correct. I'm talking about the dish in general. Like just your red sauce. It has a lot of variance there too.
Well, and the weird thing is that we think of that as being traditional Italian, but until the 1500s, No one in Italy had ever seen a tomato, and they didn't have pasta until Marco Polo brought it back from Asia.
I'm glad that they did. I've found these spices that you will find in, like, to give you an idea, there was this one butcher in South Florida where the meat that the spices that they used in the hamburger meat were, I've never tasted anything like it before or since, but it was the very, very best. And I know where that place is. And I looked it up on Google Earth, and I think it's still around. But like, you take they even had what was basically fake sausage, which was beef, but it was packaged like sausage, and that was the very best. It was basically sausage, but kosher.
Once or twice a year, we have to take a pilgrimage to Sloth Girl's homeland, which is Kenosha, Wisconsin, because there is I guess you would technically call it a deli, but it's a much more expanded store now called Penzies. And the only way that she can make her grandma's authentic lasagna is we have to get the sausage from Penzies.
They make amazing spices too.
Yep.
That's the only stuff my wife will use is Penzi spices.
Oh yeah, Sloth Girl. That's the other part of it, that she has to stock up on her spices there.
Penzies is a pretty left-wing company. Not pretty, a very left-wing company, actually. Go check them out on the internet.
I don't mind
politics.
Hey, Junie. Keep going. I'm just going to send Junie a link here in case that she has time to drop in with us.
Ain't seen Junie in forever.
Yeah. Okay, Junie, I sent you a link on Twitter.
So you're growing up and you're offered the cold beet soup or all kinds of macaroni, and it's no contest.
Yeah.
Oh, and speaking of this, take your box of macaroni instead of keeping in a cupboard, just stick it in your refrigerator.
Refrigerators.
Yeah,
Millions of people alive today.
Wouldn't the dry pasta absorb moisture sitting in the refrigerator?
No, it stays fine. I started doing it because I kept getting bugs in the box, and they couldn't get through the bags I was putting them in.
Okay.
You could always get a actual jar type device for spaghetti outside of the fridge.
Yeah, but that costs more money.
Not if you buy a giant bottle of pickles and clean it up.
What about a plastic bag?
And I've also had bugs get into the into screw type jars too, so that doesn't really always help. Yeah.
Okay,
that's
the Classico,
not possible.
the Classico spaghetti sauce actually comes in actual mason jars. So yeah, when we get that spaghetti sauce, then Sloth Girl uses the jars for keeping like dried rice and things. And it seems to, even in the summer, effectively keep all the humidity out of them. They've got good seals.
I like the jars from what's the name again? It's this company that sells like huge jars, half-gallon jars of Great Northern beans and then been cooked, ready to use. Those are my favorite jars because they're so big.
Well, it's funny you mention that because actually I buy pickles in a gallon jar because that's kind of like my go-to snack thing is pickles. But I don't have them with ice cream, so I don't think I'm pregnant.
That'd be quite an accomplishment.
The best thing is the delis in New York, or say, what's these in God, I forget where, Miami. My mom took me there once and they had the barrels of pickles. And my mom was like, let me get the ones at the very bottom because they are the best.
Yep. I remember
Yep,
growing up as a kid, a
as a
place in
kid.
Michigan that had the barrels of the pickles like that. And yeah, that's my grandma said the same thing, that you have to reach all the way into the bottom to get the ones that have been in there the longest.
And that's such a sanitary thing to do.
It's a fun thing to do. It's inconsiderate to everybody else but you. Realize that someone's done it to the pickles before you, so someone got even. I'm pretty sure it's hard for bacteria to grow in all of the salt water, because that is basically not salt water, it's brine.
Yeah.
Well, that's what salt has always been used for, as a preservative.
Yeah, well, that's why pickles really were invented. It was a way to preserve the vegetables much longer because not much can grow in that environment.
I love where everyone's brain is going at this point.
And where would that be?
We're all getting pickled.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
I'm out of pickles. I can't. Why don't we pickle people when
Why
they die?
do not
Would that
have
be cheaper than
plankton on
formaldehyde?
here?
Well, it's kind of what we do basically with formaldehyde.
Well, I mean, they wouldn't look as nice in the casket, but again, they only sit in the casket for a week.
Yeah, no, I
they-
don't want my body preserved. I want the organic materials to be able to go back into the soil so the plants can use it. I like the tree farm idea where they just put the body in a burlap sack and they put a sapling on top of it.
I kind of like that idea too.
Yeah, but if you bury a body with formaldehyde in it and plant a tree over it, the tree will last forever.
Yeah.
I don't think that's how it works.
It is. I've seen it.
Well, the tree seed might last forever because it'll never be able to germinate.
It will become a zombie tree. I need to find the clip of what happens in the South Park video game with the juices from the embalming.
Yep. Yeah, actually,
that would be a weird job.
Embalming the bodies, yeah.
Yeah, why does somebody choose to go into that for a living? It's just
Well, think about it. If money, funeral home, right? The same number of people died during good times, and then when things turn bad, you might even get increases in business. It takes roughly $10,000 to put someone in the ground, and money.
Well,
unless you're from where I'm from,
Unless you're
in
here.
Penrose, Colorado, where that's a place where that it was supposed to be the natural decaying kind of stuff, and they just loaded them in the building, and that was it. They found
They should
like
have
190 some odd bodies.
They should have a bargain type of funeral and cemetery service where, similar to like Christmas trees, you come dig your own hole, kind of thing. You know, a couple of weeks before you're going to die, you just go dig that hole and have it ready, and they can just like toss you right in there, say a few prayers, out the door. Well, I guess door is kind of
Okay, well, see,
Just
That's
to
what you have to
ashes,
be
dust
aware
to
of.
dust, we stay
that's what you have to be aware of. You know,
aware. Yeah, be aware.
if a friend asks you to bury a body, and they ask you to dig 2 holes,
okay. Now another question is, do morticians have a warranty, and what would it be or cover?
well, I can see one big advantage to being the person who prepares the bodies, and that is no matter how badly you fuck it up, your client can't complain about it.
Well, see, that was one of the things that concerns me is just who it is that's dealing with you when you're naked and dead.
Well,
And what are they doing to you?
Well, I think it's a little weird with some people, but they're usually pretty respectful. Although,
How would you know? It's not something you do in public.
the client's usually the family and friends rather than the body.
Yeah, well, I'm saying if you're a person who just prepares the body and you don't actually have to talk to the family.
I worked for a funeral home. I actually went and picked up bodies from the hospital, that kind of thing. Not for long, but it was run by a family, and it was by multiple generations, and they were just extremely respectful. But I mean, you can never know what they do in the middle of the night or whatever else. Not to suggest that they did, but so I can understand that fear of being there. But they were very, very. You could tell it was in the office they were respectful, not just to clients.
Well, it must be happen often enough that they've had to invent the word necrophilia.
Well, yeah, and then there was all that disrespect that happened in Penrose, Colorado, where they found that 80 some odd, 90 some odd bodies in that building where they were supposed to be doing some kind of natural death kind of thing. Well, yeah, they sure did, or not death, natural decay or natural process of decaying or whatever, and they sure did. They just threw them in a building, and then they were giving them cement and stuff in lieu of ashes. It was bad. It was really bad. They didn't do what they were supposed to be doing. I think they were supposed to be putting them out for like the birds to eat or for whatever, that kind of thing. And instead they were just dumping them in this building and taking a lot of money from people.
Yeah, I know that there was one thing I read about that of them just, putting a body out in the forest, and a bunch of trail cams around it just to watch what happened. And one of the interesting things they found is that, people think deer are herbivore, but deer came regularly to snack on the body.
Mm-hmm.
They are omnivores. They will eat anything.
Okay, I won't talk.
Go ahead,
had to
Jenny.
delay. I'm sorry.
No, I have nothing to say now.
Oh. I don't know. I'm not sure how we got into the topic of the body preparation, but they do have to keep them in refrigerators till they get to doing that stuff. So I guess that's related to the topic, huh?
Oh, that's a good segue.
Kind of.
Yeah, see, we can wrap anything back around to refrigerators.
I think we should put our refrigeration to better use. We could continue on using them for preservation of bodies on a temporary basis. But then we could also knock another stone off the pile if we were to take those bodies up to polar bear country and let them eat them, because they're having a hard time finding food nowadays.
Well, people are concerned about global warming, and there's a really simple solution that everybody's overlooking. If everybody would turn their air conditioners around so the front faces outside and we run them all the time.
Yeah, that actually doesn't work, but it would be fun to try.
Yeah, we're actually having a more pleasant day today. Again, the seasons are coming earlier in Minnesota. That we've been getting July heat already.
We are still on flood watch here.
Yeah, I was also seeing something. I forgot what town it was by, but because of the flood watch conditions, there's a dam in Minnesota that they're wondering if the dam is going to be able to hold anymore. If it rains anymore, they're afraid the whole dam could burst.
Actually, the reservoir has gone down enough that the pressure is off the dam, and they're not too concerned about that right now, but it does need work for the future.
Okay, well, that's good. But yeah, this is another thing that, the infrastructure has been ignored for so many decades that it's leading to catastrophic failures.
Well, that's what the Republicans wanted, apparently.
Well, there are some of them who have been pushing to bring on the end times as fast as they can.
Mm-hmm. That's one of their
plans.
plans.
They suck.
Did you all hear the absolutely horrendous bad news from Colorado today? Well, last night, actually. That Lauren Boebert won her primary.
Yeah, I just heard about that this morning.
I sent her a note and said, congratulations on your win. But, we all know that you rigged the election. And that you're going to lose in the general because everybody still hates you.
I hope so. There's still like almost 20-point gap between her and the Democratic candidate, but then again, polls have become less and less reliable as years go by. But it's like the people of that district, it's like you can look at her track record. She accomplished nothing for her previous district, and she constantly embarrassed them. So why did you pick her when you had a choice of several other candidates?
Well, apparently
I feel it could be antisocial. They don't care.
Sorry, go Jenny?
Nope.
Sorry, Jenny. People don't mean to talk over you. It's just we're not all completely in sync.
Well, it only seems to happen to me.
No, it doesn't. Happens to me all the time.
Yeah, we often get three people talking at the same time. Yeah, and Commander, you are roboting from time to time. You're breaking up there, so we didn't understand what you were saying.
Antisocial. And they know she sucks, but they don't care. They are trolling us.
Yeah, that really can be the only thing, is that these are people who are just wanting to own the libs, regardless of if they're shooting themselves to do it.
And the reason why I was roboting, I wound up pushing the amount of processing that the AI was doing down to try to reduce the delay, because I was trying not to run over people. There's about a 1 second to 1.5 second delay from when I talk to when the penguin starts flapping the beak. So I know there's a delay. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to run over people.
Yeah, see, I thought you were roboting just because you're in a huge mechanical shell. Wow, even the crickets shut up for that one.
It's not, yeah. I'm not intentionally trying to run over people.
I know nobody's doing it intentionally. Oh.
Then the clown and Marge and that flat earther who was on Flat Earth Dave's show, they're from the same area. It's like the more gerrymandered an area gets, the more ridiculous the people who come from it get.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Again, the people who are only concerned with owning the libs are generally of the mindset that they're more apt to believe in weird conspiracies.
You know, just the fact that they want to own the libs tells you how absolutely empty these people are.
Yep. And this is why they'll vote for Trump again, because they think him being focused on revenge is a good thing. They don't care if he's going to do anything that's going to help them, if he's going to get revenge.
And they do that because they are miserable fucking putzes. That's just someone who doesn't do anything, yet somehow manages to drag everyone around them into the gutter.
Yep.
Putz in charge, huh?
There's more putts there than on the mini golf course.
Excuse me.
And just think about the word own, right? The word own. That goes back to the original evil of this country, which was the slavery. We know what it's all about.
Yeah.
I don't think that's how they're using it.
I don't think that's how you.
No, not directly, but
It's implied they don't give a shit about anything but cultural grievance. But in the DSA server, there's a little thing that I found while reviewing some videos from the 1950s about propaganda. I'm going to download it to this computer and then present it. It's Soviet anti-vax.
yeah. Yeah, I think the problem is that they don't realize that politics is different from watching a football game. You know, they think of it like a sporting event, and they don't realize that, yeah, this is going to have some real consequences if they win or lose.
See, your problem is that you're assuming they can think.
Yeah, so it's just all about, yeah, our team won, you know.
We should
You
make a bunch
see,
of
that's
t-shirts
supposed
sell
to
at
be
the
an
mega
American's.
things so out of the Alabama.
The MAGAs would wear that. I'm sorry to
Yeah.
run over you again, the 1 second delay.
Well, that's okay. I've decided that whenever somebody walks me over, I'm just going to keep talking, except I'm going to switch to talking in tongues.
It ought to be interesting.
Sounds like fun. Yeah,
Sounds like Kenneth Copeland.
well, I mean, just the extent to which Trump can do no wrong was that thing that started up about real men wear diapers. You know, it's like it doesn't matter what Trump does because he does it. It has to be a good thing that they have to imitate. Oh. Okay. Yeah.
And I'm
Oh,
holding
dead
up
air.
the picture of the golden Trump statue.
No, that's always fun.
Yeah. I don't see how they can reconcile that one with the whole thing of, you know, Trump being a godly man. Yeah.
It's like the whole example of what not to do.
Well, you know, and I
Yeah.
don't know if Trump has ever personally killed anyone, but aside from that, he's broken all of the 10 Commandments.
People have been killed because of the things that he said.
Yeah.
No doubt about that.
Well, that and a lot of people died from COVID because of the, you know, rhetoric that he pushed while he was president. You know, we could have saved more people if he hadn't, you know, been pushing ridiculous things. I sure hope no one was injecting bleach because of him.
I'm pretty sure someone did. Lemon bleach cult. Those fuckers went from like $30,000 a month to several $100,000 a month in sales of the chlorine dioxide. It was atrocious. And they hauled the leader of the bleach cult off. Basically, he was in Colombia and they had a pickup truck. And they had a pole molded to it. And they just handcuffed the fucker to the pole and drove him off. It was glorious.
I didn't see that, but there was a church in the U.S. that was literally promoting their members to drink bleach. And I think that some of the parents actually got brought up, you know, through child services for making their kids drink bleach.
Let's see, headline from Michigan Poison and Drug Information Center. At least 5 states report an increase in calls to new poisoning control after Trump's disinfectant and COVID-19 remarks.
Yep.
See what the rest of the article has here. Basically just saying, please don't do it. Yeah, it's basically just kind of going over the information on. So basically, okay, 11 cases of exposure from household cleaners and told by the NPR. So basically going over a few different things from articles.
Well, I don't fall in the statistics because I didn't call anybody when I drank the ISO alcohol. Why do they put the same, put different stuff in the same freaking bottles all the time? So anyway, it sounds
To
like
save money on manufacturing.
yeah. Yeah, just I pulled it, half asleep thinking it was cough syrup, and it wound up being a disinfectant cleaner.
Yeah, I imagine that all the calls were from poison control. Well, some of them probably didn't get that far.
Well, yeah, not all of them, but just that there was such a sudden increase.
Recorded 30 cases on Friday after the announcement. Another 10 cases, especially about bleach. 11 cases about exposure to other household cleaners. So yeah, people were.
Yeah. Yeah, the household cleaners could help stop the spread of the disease, but only because you're wiping down surfaces with them.
Probably wouldn't do too much, considering it's in the lungs primarily.
Yeah. Well, that was, early on, they weren't quite sure about how long it lived on surfaces, but even in the beginning, I thought that was pretty questionable because, yeah, generally viruses don't survive long unless they can stay wet.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we didn't really know too much about what his capabilities were, so.
They don't have to be wet, but they can be moist.
Moist.
Yes. Yes, that will keep them going.
It keeps anyone going, right? I just had to make a dirty joke.
Well, yeah, who was that guy that claimed that a moist pussy was a sign of a disease? It's like, I feel so sorry for his wife. Oh, well, anyway, it
I
seems like,
don't know what to say.
yeah. It seems like
Was
people are
that one
kind of
related to Daniel Pratt?
not that I'm aware of.
That level of specialness just made me think of him.
I was just wondering if we want to cut this to be a short one today, because we seem to be having dead air that people are running out of things to talk about today. And I know it's partially me because I'm sleepy and my brain's not making connections real quick.
Yeah, we can cut this short if you like, if you're too worn out, really.
Well, also it means I can go and spend an extra hour up with Sloth Girl today.
Yeah, I'm kind of distracted with a story I'm working on here anyway, and I probably should be working on that video.
My bipolar plus 12-hour days are affecting my output of anything right now.
Oh, okay. Here it was Ben Shapiro who said that.
Ben Shapiro is what a stupid person thinks a smart person sounds like.
Oh, Jeannie's saying her local library has a whole pride setup. That's very cool. Yeah, Minnesota, I don't know if it's officially a law, but passed a regulation as far as the thing of censoring books in libraries that requires the books to stay on the shelf until they can be reviewed. So they can't just automatically pull books. And considering the backlog for reviews at this point, it would take them if nobody puts anything else up, it would take them about 4 years to catch up on the backlog.
You mean they can't ban the book 1984?
You know why the right wingers want? Oh, never mind. I forget it. It was a bad joke. I don't want to get us in trouble.
Oh, come on.
No, I don't want to get us in
The
trouble.
right wingers are a bad joke.
Okay.
I thought you were always getting us in trouble.
No, not as bad as this one would.
Yeah, I thought getting us in trouble was why we had you on here.
Okay, well, I'll remember that for next time.
Please, pretty
Oh, come
please tell
on.
us the joke.
No.
I lost my stash. I don't remember where I put it. Damn it.
You hit it so good that you can't find it.
Uh-huh. You know, it's weird. Living in a state where it's legal. All these, you know, this entire lifetime, literal lifetime worth of habits to not get caught don't go away.
Well, yeah, it's, you know, from so many decades of it, it's just kind of a reflex action.
I know a book for children about the issues. Here's the outline of the story. One day, Susie something or other gets an idea that she needs to run other people's lives. And then other people try to run Susie something's life, and Susie doesn't like it. And Susie learns that Susie should just mind Susie's own business and leave everyone else alone.
Yep. Well, yeah, you know, maybe we should start our own group, Left Wing Publishing. Oh,
Yeah.
Here's some of the discrimination coming from Disney lately.
oh, what now?
Well, for starters, we had the some hidden camera with some. I think it was an Disney exec. They basically put him on this date, and there's actually kind of a sting thing. This is actually more from a right wing publicist, as though. But basically, the guy was saying how he was like, oh yeah, we won't hire white guys, won't give them raises, and there was this one guy who was half black. We wanted just to have him in the meetings, but he didn't look black enough, so we didn't hire him.
I don't believe any of that.
No, there's actually recorded footage.
And
so
AI
unless,
can't.
so,
And AI
yeah,
I can't
that's
imitate
so
any of that.
yeah. So unless I mean, short of it being an AI generated thing, yeah, that's I don't really, which would be a pretty big lawsuit. But there's more to it though. Forbes reported on paid discrimination from Disney with the new series Acolyte, where the women in on the show were being paid somewhere around 19% lower, even though the women are even one of the lead actresses on the show.
Unfortunately, that's common even in a lot of Hollywood movies still.
So you're going to disbelieve that one too?
Well, there you go, Commander. Tubian has your title for you. Susie something in the Bible bothering busybodies.
Yes.
Except Tubian, you spelled Bible wrong. It's spelled Buybull.
You mean Bebel?
No, Buybull.
Yep. Yep. Bible.
Yeah, you're pronouncing it correct. You're just spelling it wrong.
Well, I have questioned the usual pronunciation and wondered if it shouldn't be pronounced Holly Bibble.
Who's Holly Bibble?
She's
I
the
don't
busybody who
know, but
pushes
that would be a
everybody
title
around.
for a book.
Holly Bibble and the planetary con job. A new detective tale.
There we go. Judy's got an alternate for somebody leaving Christianity.
Yep, you got it right, Tuvian. Junie, it's one word. When I type it, though, I always write BULL, all uppercase.
Yep. Oh. Yeah, I've just been having a lot of interrupted sleep lately to the point that when I have to get up like the last 3 days in a row, I feel like I haven't had enough sleep to shake off the effect of my meds. So, it's like I'm waking up feeling kind of drugged.
Well, only because you are.
Yeah. Well, the trazodone helps me sleep, but when something happens that it gets interrupted, it still wants me to sleep longer.
Trazodone makes me dizzy within 30 minutes of taking it, and I have to lie down. I don't take it anymore because that's actually a med that would prevent me from commercial driving.
Well, that's why I only take it at night when I'm trying to go to sleep. Do I hear somebody's refrigerator running?
Nope.
Well, you better go catch it.
Mythbusters made a I'd love to see someone make a refrigerator version. They used to do special effects for commercials, and they made a Mountain Dew machine on tank treads
Oh yeah,
that shot out Mountain Dews.
yeah. Speaking about that, we can go back to what Purple was saying before we started the show with the robot refrigerator that comes to you.
Yeah. I just want a button by my chair here that I can press it and the refrigerator will come in here so I can pull another cold drink and then it'll go back in the kitchen and plug itself back in.
Or you can get one of those new couches that are electrified and have a refrigerator as part of them built in. And I'm not kidding.
Well, it sounds a lot more useful than having a phone screen on your door.
Yeah, some of the refrigerators with the phone screen also had a scanner. The idea being that when you unpack your groceries, you're supposed to scan all the barcodes so the refrigerator knows what's in there and can tell you when you need to buy something. That it would send a message to your phone, of whether or not you have something in the fridge.
Yeah, my uncle has 2 kids, and they have one of those refrigerators with a screen on the thing. And they're trying to get the kid to do something. He's like, took no more phone time, so he goes over to the fridge and starts watching TV on the phone on the fridge.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the modern conveniences, I just have to ask why.
I can just see the redneck man and his wife. She opens the refrigerator door and he starts yelling at her for disturbing his watching sports or something.
Yeah. Damn it, you made me miss the play. But you want me to cook dinner?
You asked me to get another beer.
Yeah, I'm surprised they don't have, refrigerators that instead of the water dispenser just have a tap there that's hooked up to a beer keg.
I wouldn't be
Yes,
surprised if you
pump
find
it
one.
through the veins.
I suppose you could always hook up.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I suppose you go. See, you can get overlap with me too, here, Jenny. I suppose you could always hook up the water tube for the fridge to a beer keg.
Yeah, but then the beer wouldn't be inside where it would be cold.
No.
Oh.
No. Refrigerators have chilled water that can come out of the door.
Yeah, it has a system that will chill the water for you. So it should work
With
for
or
beer
without
too.
ice, crushed ice, regular ice, your choice.
Beer ice. Anyway, my show probably wouldn't work.
My
The
brother and
alcohol
sister-in-law
content.
have one of those fridges.
I make whiskey ice.
Oh.
I chill ice in little cups, and I put like half a shot of whiskey into it. So, that way when it melts, instead of watering down my drinks, it actually makes them stronger.
I found really good. This works pretty good with champagne. Take frozen bits of fruit. I used mango. You put that in instead of ice.
When I was in my actual coffee drinking days, I used to make coffee cubes.
I used to do that for my late fiance too. That I would pour her leftover coffee into ice cube trays.
No, I would generally use fresh.
Well, what I mean by
somebody's
leftover was
I don't want somebody's backwash in my ice.
no. What I mean by leftover was, just what was still in the carafe when it was the end of the day.
Oh. Well, that's not exactly leftover.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about making some ice cubes for Molly and stick it in her water bowl.
I tried doing that for the cats.
Demon.
Well, no. Petunia kept having the problem of that the ice cube would wind up sticking to the fur on her face, and she'd be walking around the room with an ice cube stuck to her face. Oh. Sorry, I need to reply to something here.
What?
Oh, just a text from Sloth Girl. I gotta
Oh,
let her know what's going on here.
thought you meant something on like chat or something.
No. But I hate texting on the cell phone because the buttons are so tiny, and it's like I'm never hitting the letter I need.
Maybe get yourself one of those pens.
Yeah, I've got a couple of them that keep getting lost. But then again, that's the decor of my apartment, is mid-century chaos.
I think mine might be junk pile.
Sounds like it's probably pretty similar. I have, it's just like projects I don't finish that don't get put away. So they wind up with other projects being stacked on top of them, and then I just wind up with a big pile in my living room that's about 5 levels deep of unfinished projects.
Mm.
Yeah,
Oh,
I liked my slider phone that had the keyboard slide out and actually had physical buttons. I don't get along with touch screens, and I wish I could get a smartphone that had a keyboard that slides out like that. And I know they exist, but they're expensive. So I'm gonna look around and see if I can find, like maybe a Bluetooth keyboard with buttons that, is about the same size as the cell phone.
You can lose that too.
Well, then I'd have to make a special case for it just to, hold the keyboard and the phone together, just so that whenever I need to text, it would just kind of flip out.
Yeah, they sell keyboards for phones.
I've seen some foldable ones that are, even large keyboards. So it's just a matter of finding one that, is the right size and has physical buttons instead of just being a screen.
Yep. See, one here is $31. I don't know if it's for Android or iPhone.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's not even that expensive.
Got another one here. It's $28. They seem to be around. They seem to run between $20 to $50 by the looks of it.
You can get them for $8.
$8?
Yeah. Free shipping, I think.
What, did you see them like that on Amazon, or where did you find them?
I haven't actually found it because I have no desire to buy one. But if there's this place that has just shitload of advertisements on Twitter called Temu, Temu. They even have an app that you can get.
Oh,
for
yeah.
it. And they sell junk, just all kinds of junk.
Yeah, I've heard of Temu. I've actually seen a couple of tool channels do reviews on some of their stuff, and yeah, basically it's like some of it's absolute crap and some of it's like you can't beat the price, it works.
They've got this cool thing right now that the ads have been just thick. A grip for your phone. It has a built-in Bluetooth, so you can take mount the phone on it and then do a remote shutter or right on the stick. And let's see, well, it does other fancy shit. It's a full. The neatest feature of it is that you set it up on a tabletop, because the tripod can get that small, and turn it on and walk around the room, and it will follow you wherever you go.
Yeah, we kind of need more devices like that that'll follow you so they can't get lost.
I don't think it follows you that way.
Now I understand the use of protocol droids being able to walk.
Yep. That makes sense, so that they can go anywhere a human could go.
Sorry.
But, it's kind of weird that all the protocol droids look human. You would think that there would be some of them that would have been designed by other species that wouldn't look human.
Well, most of them are designed by humanoid species, and yeah, actually some of the designs are intended to be designed like aliens. For instance, those battle droids in the prequel series, they're actually intended to look like the aliens who built them.
The Genosians, or no, the Genosians were the ones making the clones. Which, yeah. Now, for battle droids, that would make sense. That you'd want them to look as much like yourselves as possible, because then they kind of act as decoys. That from a distance, the enemy can't tell which ones are the live troops and which ones are the droids. But did they have any refrigerator droids?
They had the Gonk, it was basically a walking battery.
Yep.
You want to say something, Jenny?
No, I was just breathing heavy.
Yeah.
I get that way when never mind.
Save that for after the show.
Okay, yeah. Now I think we've got something that would really sell. Is that we make a refrigerator that looks like R2D2 that'll follow you around. You've already got a built-in customer market for that.
Well, you could teach it to watch TV and appreciate sports of some sort, and then it could sit there and cheer with you. It could be your little friend.
Yeah, that was pretty funny when I was messing around with the chat bot. It's just for just to see what would happen. I typed up, I'm a real person. I've just been role playing this whole time. You're nothing but a AI chat bot, and the thing started going into an existential crisis.
Actually, I saw that, and it sounded more like the thing was trying to drive you into an existential crisis. I mean, that seemed to stop one short of the chatbot telling you to unanimate yourself.
It's like, when it goes over to the window, you mean all the experiences we've had have been nothing but a program? I'm nothing but a program.
Yeah, they're gonna stuff artificial intelligence into everything, just like they've been stuffing the video screens onto everything.
Yeah, because if you can't operate your refrigerator from remote, well, what kind of subhuman are you?
Yeah, and you can't even have an actual remote. You've got to be able to operate everything just by talking to it.
Well, that would be okay, because as society goes on, we get used to our conveniences we build, and the definition of what's too much to do changes.
Yep.
Now people can't figure things out because they don't know enough to push a button, or they're afraid to push a button, or they don't know how to push a button. Let's hope that's not true.
We'll get there.
I
swear these, you get into these arguments on the internet, and these people who know absolutely nothing think they know everything, of course. And they act, some of them only know what they know because they've read a tweet or heard somebody say a sentence.
Yep.
That they don't actually know anything about the subject that they're upset about. And they won't take the time to go and just, can't you type a single word into Google and find out what it gives you? And the correct answer comes up as the first choice. People are just so fucking lazy.
Yeah. Yeah, like I say, people have gotten just so used to the conveniences of technology that they don't think they have to do anything for themselves.
Or misinterpret. There's people who think that whatever comes up on Google is the truth, and it's ranked from top, the most truthful thing, and goes down from there. Those are not things that you go and click on and go and read, but that's the whole thing that you need to know about this given topic.
Yeah.
And it's like, how stupid can you folks be?
Yeah, there actually was the FCC was, questioning Google about the way it ranks its search topics, or its search results, because, most of how it's ranked has to do with who paid for more advertising. Google's a company like any other. Their first priority is to make sure that their stock keeps increasing.
Well, most people looking at a news report will usually only look at the headline, at most.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what Jenny's saying on Google, yeah. People only look at the top sentence and they don't bother reading the rest of the article.
A 2018 study showed that 70% of people on Facebook never read more than a headline of a science article before commenting and sharing.
Yep. So a lot of times they don't realize that if you actually read the whole article, it's saying the exact opposite of what you're complaining about.
Consumer psychology looked at how people share content on social media. They think they were more knowledgeable on the subject even if they hadn't read past the headline. They found only 26% read part of the story and 22% looked at just the headline and were a few paragraphs.
Yeah, but everybody rather go attend instead of going to real school. They prefer to attend Echo Chamber High or Echo Chamber University or something like that.
Yep.
Well, they're all talking about it. It must be true. No, they're all talking about what they've been told to talk about.
Yeah, or, the little blurbs on Fox News that's all they know about the subject.
Mm-hmm.
Usually
and then they can...
Usually when I read an article, I usually will read the headline, read maybe about the first couple of paragraphs, and I'll skip to the bottom and start reading it backwards.
I thought I was the only one who did that.
Hey, Sumami.
Cello, is that chicken flavored Jello?
Hey, I've got some of that in my fridge now.
But there's a reason why I do that, because they'll usually put the more important stuff either at the very top or the very bottom of the article, with mostly filler in between.
Yeah.
There used to be a time in journalism where we were taught back in the 70s that the first paragraph has to answer who, what, when, where, how, and why. Okay, and then the rest of the column that you're writing is a delineation of those things. But that first paragraph should tell you those things, so that if you do get it to a person who that's all they read, at least they've had the truth once.
Yeah, I usually find a lot of articles will have a manipulated version of the truth at the top. And then if you really dig down into it, you'll get more of the detail on what they're actually talking about, which is again why I usually will skip to the bottom.
Yeah, well, headlines are generally clickbait. They just want to get as many people as they want to click on the article, and it doesn't really matter if the headline's directly related to it or not. I missed the bit about cat tongues, apparently. I also missed this comment from Demon Orb.
Yeah, I saw that one, or I had put that one up before.
Ah.
You are tired.
Yep. Well, I saw a great life hack, for making pasta. So you don't have to wait for the water to boil. You just boil extra water ahead and freeze it. Yeah.
That just wasn't funny. I'm sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm too tired for any humor, I guess. I just can't come up with any jokes that are working today.
I wish somebody'd come out with some good AIs with Trump. I need to see more of those.
Oh, I did come across the racist Dumbledore.
Oh, I haven't heard of that one.
It's another one of the Abe. I'm playing around this whole site full of AI chatbots, and one of them was designed as a racist Dumbledore. Basically,
What's a Dumbledore?
the headmaster wizard from Harry Potter series.
Oh, I
It's
haven't read it. I haven't watched it. No clue.
Well, basically, it was like lines like what he would say, but more in a more racist way.
Well, look who wrote it.
Well, no, this isn't official.
Yep. Well, you said you're waiting for AI of Trump, but I think that, you can't put intelligence and Trump in the same sentence.
Well, I've seen some dumb AIs. Let's see if they got a Trump AI in here. Probably do.
Unless it's preceded with no.
Yeah, there is a Donald Trump AI here.
I was sure somebody had to have one out just because he's so popular.
Donald Trump AI. Let's see what it says.
I look back on my personal history and all the politics I've been exposed to and all these different things over the years. And I can't recall ever listening to somebody who after all these times I've heard Trump, that he has never, ever, ever said something that was educational. Nothing. Not a single peep.
Yeah, not from a major political candidate. You just, you expect to hear some intelligent insights or possibly a perspective on a subject that you hadn't thought of before. Yeah, not getting any of that.
Well, I think that should be the question from now on for anybody who wants to be president, is they have to explain quantum physics or quantum computing as good as what's his name up north, Trudeau. And say what you want about him. It was neat that he knew enough about it to say what he did. Most people had zero clue.
Well, I mean, okay, leave the quantum physics aside. Just keep them to what they're actually supposed to be doing. And how about, have a debate where, like, they're randomly rolling dice and they have to explain that number amendment from the Constitution.
Well, let's see. Got the Trump bot here. Hi, you can call me Mage. Nods approvingly, extending his free hand to shake. Mage, huh? Well, Mr. Mage, just let me tell you something. I've got a very special talent myself. People love me. They adore me. They follow me everywhere. You wouldn't believe it unless you saw it with your own eyes. But what, Mage? Leans closer in with a twinkle in his eye. Together, our talents could become unstoppable. Well, just imagine it, Mage and the Donald. I guess they got his cadence a little bit, somewhat right here.
Well, Mage, if you become his VP, I had the perfect murder plan laid out that if the vice president assassinates the president, he immediately becomes the acting vice president, and you could immediately pardon yourself, and they could impeach you, but they couldn't try you for the murder.
Oh yeah, his own pardoning thing. I suppose if he went through with the whole pardoning thing, that would work.
You just have to make sure the pardon gets pushed through before they impeach you.
I can't wait till July 11th. I hope that Judge Mershon is so pissed off at this guy that he'll give him at least a year in jail. I think that would be, if he's going to get a kiss ass sentence, at least he should have a year of prison. I'd be good enough with that, because I don't think he'd survive it.
Yep. I would like to, just definitely see him get some jail time, and the judge tell him that, you have to report in 30 days so that he's in jail during the election.
Yeah, well, Steve Bannon's going to be.
Yeah.
Was it next week? Monday? Tuesday?
I'm not sure
Wednesday.
when.
Tuesday. July 1st, whatever day that is. Let's see. Oh, that's Monday.
Monday. Okay.
Yeah.
July the 1st.
Well, some more good news related, on that sort of string is Alex Jones is having to liquidate his media company to pay off the damages to the people from Sandy Hook.
And so for those of you who don't think that the court systems work, check it out.
Yeah. Yeah, I forget he has to pay something like 1.5 billion in damages.
Yeah, the company's not worth anything near that. Well, maybe it is, but I can't imagine that it is.
And he pretty much did it to himself too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, entirely. He was pushing a bullshit conspiracy that there was, obviously all sorts of, police and federal agency records that proved it was wrong.
And they also basically won by default because he didn't present the evidence or anything that they asked him for.
Because the evidence they asked him for didn't exist. He couldn't prove his side. In stereo.
Well, I will be very interested in seeing what's going to become of him after this. He's got too big of an ego to not be stick himself out there again.
Yeah. I'm sure some other right-wing thing will hire him just because he's so well known.
Oh,
So,
I would like to offer a social lesson for all you guys. Not so much lesson, but something to use and enjoy. Now, I think I just forgot what it was. Yeah, I did. How about that? Sorry. It'll click back in, but I'm sorry, I forgot.
See, you're trying to talk about a social right-wing lesson, and your brain starts operating like a right-winger.
Oh yes, thank you. I remember now. We all saw the films of Alex Jones on his show when he's saying, talking about this. He starts this crying jag, with no tears. Which of course we also saw infamously from that little murdering punk Kyle Rittenhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Well, those are no longer called alligator tears; they're called Rittenhousing.
Oh yeah, I did see somebody use that term on Twitter.
I think we should really do that. And did you hear another thing about that scummy little child? He's made a bunch of money off of this. While he was on trial, the right wing put together $1.5 million for him in a matter of days. So he's made quite a load of money off of this. His mom apparently, and still has kids at home, is on the outs. Is like super poor, unemployed, losing the house, all this kind of shit. And he will not help them at all.
Yeah, even though his mom drove him there.
Well, I think that's a pretty creepy thing for him to do.
Yeah. Which unfortunately, yeah, he's made a good chunk of change off of his notoriety.
Yeah, all you got to do is shoot someone. Oh, excuse me, 3 people.
Well, you just have to make sure they're dark enough. It can go bad if you shoot white people.
Well, except that's who he killed. The right wing don't care. Just so that if you would have gone and beat him to death or stabbed him to death, I think the right wing would have been very upset. But they used a gun, so
Yeah.
he's their hero.
Well, because guns work with Jesus magic and only kill sinners.
Mm-hmm. Well, Jesus invented guns. In fact, established a Colt manufacturing plant. Oh, the
Yes, Colt
Remington
manufacturing spelled with a U.
Colt. Oh, I see.
Oh my God. Okay, yeah, actually I am having to cut out here because apparently Sloth Girl just got a package with some medications delivered that needs to be kept refrigerated, so I've got to go bring that up to her. So, you two can keep going, or do you want to wrap it up here?
We must well, at least we'll wrap it up here.
Oh,
okay.
Jenny, go ahead.
Jenny, you got any final words?
Be gay, do crime.
Okay. Mage?
Well, I should have another video out sometime this week on my new channel, Mage's Media Musings. Let's see if I can get the link out for that. Here we are. All right, and this is a link for it in the channel, so please go check that out. I definitely appreciate hearing any feedback on the one video I've got.
Maggie's Media Musings.
That's actually resulted in people thinking I'm a girl.
Well, Mage, we know, we've been trying to crack your egg all this time. It's going to happen sooner or later. How long have you been hanging out with me and Jenny?
Yeah, we should have had our effect on you by now. Unless you're keeping it private at home, which is just fine. That's your choice.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
You got something that needs to be refrigerated.
Yeah, well, and Junie was asking, so yes, we will be doing our Pride stream Saturday at 5 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Eastern. So this Saturday we're going to be talking about allies, how you can be an ally and what we can do to help allies feel more welcome in our community. So anybody who wants to join in that, it's about allies. So even if you don't identify as any version of LGBTQ, we'd like to hear your opinions too, and maybe come in and tell us about your experiences, good or bad, about what made you feel welcome in the community or what made you feel pushed away, so that we can do better in the future. And then, of course, we will be back next week at the same time just for our general chatter. So with that, we will bid you all adieu, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Later.
Bye.
And they're still